Rice Street Jail are beyond emergency levels in Georgia. He's pushing for more staff and upgrades after losing over 300 employees this year. A federal monitor is now on site. And Atlanta is being called one of the best cities in the U.S. for singles. It ranks 4th out of 100 on the list according to Zumper. The city scored high for affordability, nightlife, and its large unmarried population. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show on this Friday. We made it through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, hump day, Thursday, and now it's Friday. So some of y'all, I know you already started your weekend.
Some of them started last night.
But most of us, we don't get to start until after we finish a little work today. Yeah. And but man, there's so much stuff going on this weekend. Oh my goodness, all kinds of stuff going on this weekend. But we have lots of other things to talk about. We're going to talk about some of that too. But we've got an exciting show for you today, and it's 7:03, folks. 7:03 a.m. You got to be there at 7:15. Be careful.
Be extremely careful because the kids are out there. We have to watch for the kids.
Watch for the kids. Those school zones, 20 miles per hour or less. Although they get kind of frustrated if you go 12.
Yeah.
But they want to keep you. They want you to keep it moving.
Right.
But they don't want you to be turtle-like,
right,
as you move through. But do be careful. Do be careful. Watch those school buses. There's a reason those buses stop and put the flashers on and put the signs out, and just think of that as a stop sign.
Right. It is a stop sign. I think it is a stop sign. If you go around that, you can get a ticket, and some of those buses are equipped with cameras. And so be very careful because those kids are coming around those buses. You can't see them.
Well, there's a little something I didn't realize. Those cameras some of those buses got cameras?
Well, that's what I heard.
Ooh.
I don't know which one.
Another way to catch you. Another way to catch you. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. We've got another day of developments yesterday and overnight, and I tell you, I mean, it's just one thing after another. We have all of the hustle of the campaigns to see who's going to be elected in various positions, who's going to be running the city, executive and legislatively and otherwise. We have all of that. There's excitement on the part of some, and there's concern and frustration, even anger on the part of some others. And we knew during the campaign, because it was a campaign issue,
right,
that we had some budget issues.
Right.
But the working number was $65 million. And at one point, it was State Senator Royce Duplessis who said, that's not the number I'm hearing.
Right.
And I think we got bigger issues because he used the number $140 million dollar deficit. None of this was confirmed until the legislative auditor, the Louisiana legislative auditor, dug into the books and came up with another number, $160 million deficit. So it didn't matter who was going to be elected mayor. That is a number that is going to be hard to overcome without some drastic changes. And Sanitation Director Matt Torrey was at City Council yesterday, and as much as people complain about their trash, their garbage services, he gave some people might call it a sky is falling news. Sky is falling kind of news, because he said his department with the proposed budget would drop from $71 million to $52 million.
What?
$71 million to $52 million. And so that means lots of things with quality of life services would have to be significantly curtailed or stop, just flat out stop, like cleaning up the tires. Stop. Nope, can't afford to do it. And the pressure wash that in addition to the regular trash contracting in the French Quarter, people like that pressure wash, which is really good and important for the visual appeal and all, and to keep the place clean. That would go away. That pressure washer would go away. So imagine how dirty that place could look without pressure washing. And he also said was looking at overtime, and the budgeted overtime. Now, keep in mind, this is not approved. City Council weighs in. City Council has to approve a budget as the legislative branch, and the executive branch, led by the mayor, has the opportunity then to spend the money. But the budget sets you up for what you'll be able to do. Well, the budget, according to Mr. Torrey, has $236,000 for overtime.
That's not a lot.
$236,000 for overtime. And he gave a little context. If you're a New Orleanian and you've been around a while and you love Carnival and you love Mardi Gras Day, and you know we can enjoy it so much that we leave a few things behind.
Right.
That have to be cleaned up. Well, Mardi Gras, I'm not talking about all of Carnival. Right. Mardi Gras, that is half of the price tag for Mardi Gras.
Wait.
For all of his overtime.
Mardi Gras Day?
Yeah.
One, not the 11-day season, just one day.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's his overtime for the year.
Well, when you look at it from that perspective, that's definitely a little more than a problem. That's a dilemma. When you look at it from the perspective that, the French Quarter is the tourism that basically fuels the economic tourism development budget. And when the French Quarter is not pristine and smelling good and, trash being picked up, we got so many compliments as a city with the pressure washing because the smell, because the French Quarter used to have this smell just from people walking up.
And y'all know what we're talking about. If you've been over there any length of time in the last several years.
And that pressure washing idea was tremendous, and that smell is gone.
Yeah.
And, even the tourists complimented people who have come here before and said, man, the French Quarter smells great. And I remember when Walt Disney came down and did a premiere for one of their movies, they did the pressure washing thing, and people were saying it was Disney clean. Well, they were making it analogous to when Disney came down here and cleaned it. And so, I mean, that was a big, big boom for the city to have that type of reputation, especially in the French Quarter. Now, if we have to revert back to the not pressure washing and getting it to, smell like it used to smell, where we were kind of like vilified to a certain extent, saying that, this is the jewel of the city, this is where the tourism is at, and it smells like this, because when you're dealing with alcohol and you're dealing with people walking back and forth drinking and spilling drinks, and some of them, having a little too much to drink, and, some of them throwing up and things such as this, you got to clean all that up. And when you use the pressure washing to clean it up, the smell goes away, the dirt goes away, and that's a big deal. And if you're talking about just cutting just that one thing out, that's going to be a problem. Not to mention the basic things of just picking up the trash.
All right, so let's talk about trash. Let's talk about trash, because that was an important piece of the meeting yesterday. And, of course, we only have one sanitation district that has more than once a week pickup. And people complaining that they pay for it, but actually you're not, because the contract does not say twice a week pickup in the neighborhoods. It says something different for the French Quarter, but you actually are not paying for it. Yes, you used to get twice a week pickup, and that was by contract. But these contracts don't call for twice a week pickups. But the mayor has a solution. The mayor has a solution that she wants city council to consider. Not sure everybody will like it, but this is going to be one of those kinds of things that we're going to have to consider as a trade-off. So the mayor's proposal with this budget is that we would increase the sanitation fee, not twice a week pickup, same pickup, from $24 to $36.
Okay, 33% increase.
$24 to $36, not 24 to 26 or 24 to 28, $24 to $36 to come close to keeping some level of services that we have now by contract, and that doesn't include twice a week. And it would jump from $48 to $72 for businesses.
Wow.
$48 to $72 for businesses. And that would get the city about $19 million. If city council proposes that, passes that, and everybody pays, it would raise about $10 million, and that would avoid most of the severe cuts. So if we go from 24 to 36, and the businesses go from 48 to 72, that would be most. It would not avoid all of the cuts that need to be made. But let's say we go from 24 to 36, and some people immediately say, well, I'm not paying. Well, then that's going to have an impact on the services that can be provided. And to move to the twice a week pickup, according to Mr. Torrey, who talked to City Council yesterday, that would add another $12 million.
On top of the $19 million.
That's right.
Which is about $31 million.
So that increase does not include twice a week pickup. That increase is to keep what we have because we don't have enough revenue coming in to cover these costs. And these are things that people expect as a part of quality of life and city services as taxpayers and voters and residents.
You know, a lot of these contracts, you know, they're very complex, and to a certain extent, just my personal opinion, with all the legal jargon and problems, they become addlepated, and the average person can't really understand or able to comprehend the actual, you know, significance of these different cuts and the significance of these increases, because they're looking at it from the perspective as a citizen, I agreed to pay this amount of money for this service. So now the service is gone from 2 days a week to 1 day a week, even though it's not actually written in the contract, because we just found that out. But if you've been getting your trash picked up twice a week, as long as you can remember, and you just change it because of budgetary problems, it's hard for the average citizen to understand that. But then they get used to that and they understand it. Now they're being told that we're going to do a 33% increase to keep the same amount of services that we
the new level of
services, but it's not going to increase the pickups to 2 days still. So it's hard for the average citizen, you know, to understand that I'm going to pay more and I'm going to get the same or even less than what I was getting in before. And then when you talk about the with the recycling, that's a whole different thing. Because I know they really. I'm just going from my personal experience. I've been waiting for a recycling can for almost 2 months now, and every time I call, they said we're backlogged. And you know, I want to be a conscious person as it relates to the environment, but it's really difficult when you don't actually have the container, let alone getting it picked up. You have to have the container to put the stuff in. And my neighbor's been very nice to let me use her container, but I mean that's just a microcosm of some of the things that we face as citizens as it relates to the services. You know, we want to be good citizens. We want to be good stewards of our government and participate and pay our taxes and pay the things that, you know, have our quality of life living at a certain level, because we have a great city, you know, but we have to utilize the resources to the optimum efficiency.
So Joe Giarrusso, who is a council member representing District A and also the city council budget chair, made a point of addressing that at the council meeting yesterday, talking about this twice a week pickup. This is what we're paying for. You're not paying for this.
Right.
You're paying for once a week.
Right.
And his one of his comments, he had many, was you can't expect 2025 services and 2010, 2012 cost.
Right.
So that was kind of plain and simple.
Yeah.
Now, he's not saying he likes that.
Right.
He's talking about the reality of the money that we have and the services that we can afford for pickup in the city of New Orleans in 2025. You know, meanwhile, the mayor-elect, Helena Moreno, announced the co-chairs for the transition team. And we're going to make time for that today so that you know who these folks are, what they're tasked with, know more about that. But another big announcement that came out of the Moreno transition camp is the first big job description is she's looking for her chief administrative officer.
Okay.
And if you've been paying attention to City Hall for several years or several decades, you know how important it is for the mayor to have the right person as the CAO. There are kind of some historical figures who have been CAOs in mayoral administrations. And we don't know who we're going to get because she's going to leave a chunk of that to the committee to find the best candidates and narrow the field and give her some options and then land on a CAO. I wrote a little bit about this, so you can find it at NOLA.com. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I made a job ad for the CAO.
All right.
I made up a job ad for the CAO.
Okay.
They have an official one. It's at newdirectionnola.com. So take a look at the real one. Mine is much shorter.
Okay.
So here goes. Are you an experienced magician? Can you use sleight of hand to force people to look one way while you do something creative elsewhere? When there's no bird in sight, can you make a bird appear in the palm of your empty hand? Can you put on a top hat and tip it in a way that makes people want to toss money in? If so, we have a job for you.
Whoa. So you're looking for a prestidigitator.
Well, with the legislative auditor saying, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you got $8 million to work with for the city the size of New Orleans. That's not a lot of money.
No, it's not.
$8 million to run the whole city?
Wow.
Imagine $8 million for the police department only.
Wow.
I mean,
that's going to be incredible.
Yeah. So this was me taking a little funny look at what's going on, but it's a really serious thing, and this pick will be a really, really big decision.
You need someone, first of all, who can navigate through the bureaucratic quagmire, first of all. Someone who's respected on all levels from the socioeconomic scale, can navigate from the people at the bottom to people at the top, people that know how to utilize the resource to the optimal efficiency, have a proficiency in some type of accounting, have an ability to bring people together. It's going to take a very special person, especially during these times. I remember Renaud Rochon when he was the CAO. I mean, this man would walk in a room and command respect and things such as this. I remember when I was working with Sidney Bartholomew, I got to really meet him. He was incredible. So we're going to need somebody like that to step in to fix this budget.
All right. We're going to go to break now. And when we come back, we expect to be talking to Joe Givens, finding out what's going on in his life and his part of the community as he sees things. And later in the show, we're going to hear from our friend Kevin Ferguson from New Orleans and Company, talking about some of the wonderful activities and events going on this weekend and beyond. And man, there are so many. I don't know how he's going to talk about all that in the time that we have. And we got Vernon Tucker, Leslie Ann Ray, Nick Reed, and Blake Owens. They're going to talk with us about Get Up and Ride. And we got a check-in with the Community Book Center coming up before the show ends. So we got a lot of good stuff going on. I hope you stay tuned on AM radio at 12:30 on the internet or via Facebook Live. Just find the station's Facebook page, WBOK 12:30 AM. And that is the station you're listening to, WBOK 12:30 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good Friday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. A former New Orleans priest accused of raping and kidnapping a disabled boy will be in court. Mark Ford was arrested in Indiana last month and was extradited back to New Orleans earlier this week. The allegations stretched from alleged abuse dating back to 2004 when a boy was 10 years old. Records show the victim's mother contacted police last year to report her now adult son had been sexually abused by Ford, a minister affiliated with St. Joseph's Catholic Church. The congregation of the Vincentians confirms that Mark Ford was a Vincentian priest and served in the congregation for the Mission Southern Province during a portion of the time that the offenses are alleged to have happened. He left the order in 2006. Right now, New Orleans police are investigating a shooting on Chef Mentor Highway. We're told a man was shot inside an apartment complex around 8:30 last night. He was taken to the hospital and is currently in stable condition. No word on a possible suspect or what led up to the gunfire, but if you know or heard anything about the situation, call Crime Stoppers. All right, y'all, it's a busy weekend of football. LSU takes on Vanderbilt, a potentially tough matchup. Tulane's at home looking to take revenge against Army. Both games kick off at 11 a.m., by the way. Then on Sunday, the Saints will be in Chicago taking on the Bears. And former head coach Dennis Allen, who is the team's defensive coordinator. That game kicks off at noon. And also, Southern is having their homecoming this weekend. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great Friday and a fantastic weekend.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Electric vehicles are gaining in popularity, but some people are still holding out because of range anxiety, the fear that you could end up stranded with no place to charge your car. And that fear is multiplied for big companies and could be what's stopping them from electrifying their fleets. Enter SparkCharge. It's a company founded by Joshua Aviv that bridges the gap between the existing electrical grid and the needs of a big company with an electrified fleet.
What we realize is that fleets, they'll incorporate 50 cars, they'll incorporate 20 cars, but then they'll have the issue of going to the grid. We want to get these cars electrified, but the grid can't handle the demand of all these vehicles. And so we show up, we get them up and going with our mobile battery chargers, which means they're charging from a giant battery connected to charging stations, and then they're able to get up and running a lot quicker.
Aviv is a young black entrepreneur who founded SparkCharge from his college dorm and now can tout Mark Cuban as a major investor. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Lowe's knows you want to spend less time shopping and more time on the job site. Bulk savings on trusted brands means big savings and more time on the job. Get up to 25% off select drywall when you buy in bulk. Buy more and save to make sure you're prepared for any job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show on WBOK 1230 AM. You're hearing our voices. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Chief Eddie Compass. Folks, it's 7:30 a.m., which means we still have some babies. Not infants, not toddlers, but we still have some of our babies, our youth.
Right.
Even if they got hair on their face, they still are babies. They are going to school or near school, some of them walking, some of them being dropped off, some of them on buses. But please watch out for the hustle and bustle of our young ones heading to school.
I love the kids, and my baby's 44 years old, and she's still my baby. So watch out for her, too.
All right, all right. Well, you know, we told you before the break that Mayor-elect Helena Moreno has started that transition, and the new CAO, of course, will have a huge job, and that would be under ordinary circumstances. But with a $160 million deficit, that's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of creativity, and definitely designating some priorities to figure out how to use the money that the city does have and how to get some more money quickly. Well, part of that is going to come down to the team that Mayor-elect Moreno builds around her. So this week she announced a transition team, and that team has 4 co-chairs. And some of everybody listening in the WBOK family of listeners will recognize the name of former Congressman Cedric Richmond. He is one of the co-chairs. He had 6 terms in the Congress, representing the 2nd District, which is what Troy Carter represents now. He chaired the Congressional Black Caucus, served on Ways and Means and other important committees, including the Judiciary. And he was senior advisor to President Joe Biden. But Helena Moreno said one of the main reasons that, with that resume, but one of the main reasons that she picked him as a co-chair was his role in charge of transition for President-elect Joe Biden. So having performed this duty at a national level for a president of the United States, certainly she's counting on him to come in strong with this.
Yeah, I've been knowing former Congressman Richmond since he was a kid, and he has been always a hard worker. He's always been highly intelligent. He's always been able to bring people together. So I think when you look at his political acumen, his business acumen, he's a lawyer, so he understands complex legal processes. I think she's made a very sagacious choice picking him to be on that committee because he knows how to basically navigate that proverbial bureaucratic quagmire.
All right, well, let's hear from Cedric Richmond. Let's hear what he had to say when he was announced by the mayor-elect.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor, and I will try my best to kind of stay on some sort of script. It's hard for me. Let me just say this from my experience with transition. Transition takes on the personality, the life, the goals of the winning candidate. And in this case, what you will see in transition is Mayor-elect Moreno's fingerprints on it, and not just from a political standpoint, but who she is, what she's fighting for. And the first thing that stood out to me was that she absolutely wants us to know who we work for, and that is the citizens of New Orleans. And so as we approach transition, we want the citizens to know that we know exactly who we're working for and who we're working on behalf of. And that's to make the life better for every person that's in this city and to create a type of city that will bring our sons and daughters and our families back home with excitement to this amazing city. So I just want to thank you, Madam Mayor, for giving me, Mayor-elect, for giving me this opportunity to help guide a city that's given me so much. And I just am ecstatic that I get to help shape this next mayoral administration, one that is looking to do it with inclusivity, one that is looking to lift up every neighborhood. And I think that when you hear the mayor talk and you hear all of us collectively, you will hear us talking about an economy that's open to everyone, an economy that lifts everyone up, and one that will focus on every factor. So it means investing in our youth. That means strong summer job initiatives, career pathways, mentorships that connect young people with opportunity. You will also hear us focus on workforce development, growing our small businesses, growing our small and disadvantaged businesses, our DBEs, so that they have real access to city contracts. And that's how you grow a city, that's how a city prospers, and that's how the people within a city prosper. So when we talk about this new administration, we talk about Helena Moreno, we're talking about her commitment to opportunity for all. And you'll hear us stress that over and over again, because the biggest compliment you can give an elected official is that they get it. And if you look at the mayor-elect's experience over the last 8 years on the council, she gets it. She gets the frustrations of citizens. She gets the excitement of the opportunity of building this city back. And so I am very proud to stand here as a co-chair and embark on this awesome journey of building a city that the constituents want, building a city that we can be proud of, building a city that cares for everyone, building a city that took me from being a bad little kid to the White House. And so we have so many people in this city that with the right hug, with the right kick, or with the right nurturing and watering, will become the next great leaders in this country, the next great business people in this country. And so I'll close with this. We have some of the most creative people in the world here, whether it's music, whether it's food, whether it's the arts. We have some of the whether it's business, we have some of the most creative people. And if we continue to support them and nurture them and create a city government that supports them, then we're going to continue to lead this country in not only the arts, but also in business and opportunity, and the number one thing, which is being the best city to raise a family in. And I believe this transition is going to execute on all of those. So thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, so that was Cedric Richmond. Another co-chair, and there are four, is former municipal court chief judge, Desiree Charbonnet. And of course, she's been around for quite a while, been active in the community and different levels and places, particularly in the legal circles. And she was a mayoral candidate back in 2017. So she came on board as a supporter, endorsed the campaign of Helena Moreno, got more involved, it seems to me, as the campaign was winding down to Election Day. And the mayor-elect asked her to be one of the co-chairs.
I've been knowing Ms. Charbonnet my entire life. Matter of fact, her aunt is my godmother. So I've watched her maturate through this process, becoming a lawyer, then becoming a judge, and then stepping into the political arena and run for mayor. I think she has a unique perspective on dealing with things that the average person finds important, because as a judge, she had to deal with the community and with the public on a daily basis. And I think that she's extremely successful in that regard. When you look at it from the big picture, she has been someone who's been a part of this city her entire life. She has great roots. Louis Charbonnet, a former state representative, is one of her relatives. Bernard Charbonnet is her brother, who's run multiple campaigns. So she has definitely been involved in the political arena her entire life, and she has the skill set and the wherewithal to get things done. So I think that's another really very good choice.
Okay, let's hear from former Judge Charbonnet.
And Helena, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to work with you on transition. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. It is my distinct honor to serve as a co-chair on this transition team and to help shape the future of this city, a city that's healthier and that's safer, but not just for some, as she has said so many times, but for everyone. As a former judge, I have a passion for justice reform and public safety, and I'm excited to work with this transition committee, especially those that will focus on the issues of public safety. But public safety is just not about enforcement. It's about prevention, opportunity, and trust. And we know from polling during the campaign that next to infrastructure, public safety was first and foremost on the minds of the citizens. So it's important that we focus on what the people want, what they want to see improved. Helena also understands that crime doesn't just occur out of the blue or from nowhere. It doesn't occur because of no reason. It grows from unmet needs, lost opportunities, systems that fail our youth and families. That's why we're focused on community prevention, effective policing, collaboration between residents, nonprofits, and law enforcement. We will design actionable plans that expand youth programs, increase summer jobs, and create new partnerships to give young people alternatives and hope. Because when we invest in our young people, we invest in public safety and in the future of the wonderful city of New Orleans. So together, we're going to make our neighborhoods stronger, our city safer. Again, not just for some, but for everyone who calls New Orleans home. I say this from the bottom of my heart as a born and raised New Orleanian. New Orleans, I know you, and I am here for you, and I will do everything I can as a member of this transition team to improve public safety and make everyone feel comfortable and as safe as possible in this city. I'm happy to be a part of this committee, and I'm excited to work with these phenomenal people. Thank you.
Okay, well, there you have it from former Chief Judge Desiree Charbonnet talking about the things of interest to her and the assignment that she has as a part of this transition team. Another of the four co-chairs is Emily Arata. A number of people will remember her name, even if you haven't seen her in the news or seen her recently for a variety of reasons, including that she has a job at Ochsner. So she's Assistant Vice President at Ochsner Health, and she's got more than 25 years of experience in public service, community engagement. She was, a lot of people who have been around would remember her as one of the deputy mayors for Mayor Mitch Landrieu, and also as Deputy Chief of Staff to Lieutenant Governor Mitch Landrieu, and she also served as Communications Director on Capitol Hill. So she's got a deep and broad view of local level, state level, and national. And she's going to be, she is another co-chair of the transition team.
Yeah, I don't know her personally, but I know of her, and I know her through Mitch Landrieu because I think she was one of his campaign advisors, if not head of this campaign when he ran for several offices. One of the things that I think she has a real skill set was that she led the communication efforts during hurricane and emergency situations under the Landrieu administration. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to bode her very well in picking somebody for these various positions because that's an extremely unique skill set to handle that type of situation. By her doing that, when she's interviewing the people and prospective individuals for these positions, I think she's going to be very instrumental in picking the right people.
Okay. All right. Let's hear what Ms. Emily had to say.
Mayor-elect Moreno, for the opportunity to be a part of this. It's truly an honor to serve alongside this committee and the transition team that you're putting together. You know, we all have a couple things in common, and that is we love the city of New Orleans. We believe in Helena's vision, and we're also ready to get to work. In fact, the work has already begun because we know that in just 90 days, Mayor-elect Moreno will become Mayor Moreno. And this transition will be successful if we accomplish, or when we accomplish, three things. Number one, she walks into City Hall on day one surrounded by a diverse and talented team of professionals that are ready to get to work serving the people of this city. You know, second, she has a 100-day plan that's actionable and that will guide the administration's work to deliver results with urgency. And then third, as part of the transition, we want to ensure that community priorities become the administration's priorities through meaningful civic engagement. That's something that Mayor-elect Moreno has always been committed to, and that this transition is very committed to as well. And to that end, in the coming weeks, you'll see Mayor-elect Moreno announce a series of transition committees made up of civic, community, business leaders who will advise the transition and the next administration on policies and initiatives to take on to tackle our toughest challenges. And also to ensure that every resident is invited to be a part of the conversation and to have a voice. The transition and the transition teams will host community meetings, community workshops, listening sessions, and also launch a community survey. One of the hallmarks of Mayor-elect Moreno's tenure in public service has been her ability to build broad coalitions to rally around a common mission and then work together to get it done. And that is certainly going to be one of the hallmarks of the New Direction New Orleans transition, and that is civic engagement and coalition building. So, I think I speak on behalf of the team when I say we're ready to get to work. Thank you. Yes, we are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the fourth co-chair of the transition committee is Ryan Berger, and he's not one that seeks publicity, but because he's so involved with a number of things, including his the Burger Company. He's executive principal, and that's based in the French Quarter, and there are always concerns and issues and a lot of good things coming out of the French Quarter. So he cares deeply about that and beyond, because his reach as a businessman includes retail, hospitality, parking, and real estate, and not just locally, but nationally. So we're talking about a higher level of businessman, and he's been on quite a number of boards that you all would of organizations that you all would recognize: New Orleans and Company, French Quarter Festivals, WYES, NOCA, and there are many more. But Chief?
Well, I wear a lot of hats, and one of the hats that I've worn is I've handled security for the Burger Corporation since the 1980s. And his father, Darryl Burger, is one of the greatest New Orleanians we've ever had. And this young man is with the proverbial chip off the old block. He is someone who is totally committed to this city. I watched this kid from the time he was like 5 years old maturate into the position that he's in now. He is taking a pivotal role as a leader. He's basically looking at it from a holistic standpoint, not just from a one-dimensional standpoint. He's looking at making New Orleans better. His father and his entire family has dedicated themselves to making the city better, working on all kind of charitable organizations, giving of themselves, giving of their time. And I can tell you unequivocally and without a doubt that this young man will give 110%, because, like I said, I have watched him from the time he was a little bitty baby till he's come developed in now, and I'm very, very pleased that she picked someone like this, because he's going to do a great job.
All right. Well, let's hear what Mr. Berger had to say.
Moreno, I'm honored to serve as part of your transition effort, and I'm excited to work closely with my fellow co-chairs and with the various transition committees, especially those focused on infrastructure and city services, things we all rely on every single day. As a business owner and as a resident, I know firsthand how challenging working with City Hall can be. Whether permitting, inspections, notice of road work, or simply getting a response, issues with city service affect us all, every resident and every employer, from small businesses to major corporations. This transition brings together a diverse group of civic, community, and business leaders to tackle the city's challenges head on. Our goal will be to identify solutions that streamline processes like safety and permits so the city can be a partner in growth, not a barrier to it. We will call on experts from across industries, from the cultural economy to the port, and from health sciences to the tech sector to lead these specialized committees. But this is about much more than just business. As a father of 2 young New Orleanians, I want to see a city that collaboratively invests in recreation, safety, and opportunity for its young people. This transition is about transforming vision into action and systems into service. For when city services work, families can thrive. I once again want to thank Mayor-elect Moreno for including so many voices in this transition process, and I'm excited to help lay the groundwork for a city that truly delivers for its people every single day.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay, so that's the fourth co-chair of the mayor-elect's transition team, and she announced that there will be a number of committees that are going to be organized, and these co-chairs will oversee those various committees focused on different aspects of the city's operation for the new administration, even with all the challenges, and holding everything together will be Renee LaPerriere, and she's been the campaign manager for the Moreno campaign. Moreno was the candidate, but the brains behind how do we get this done was Miss Renee, who's been around for a long time. A lot of people know her. And she, aside from being the campaign manager, she's been executive director of the Louisiana Democratic Party. She's worked with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development. She's been a part of the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors. You get the idea. Sister's been in some big roles in big spaces with big impact. And so now Helena Moreno is moving her from campaign mode to executive director of this transition team. And that means she's going to be the one to hold people accountable and to make sure the tasks are given so that they're not just news conferences, but there's actual work going on.
I've been knowing Renee, I don't want to tell her age, but well over 35 years. And she is someone that's very quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, she's extremely efficient. She gets the job done. She holds people accountable, and she's very task-oriented. She basically is like no nonsense when it comes to business, coming to work. I could see why she's the executive director, because she's used to dealing with powerful people, and she's not intimidated at all. And she's gonna.
And these co-chairs are some powerful people.
Exactly. That's why I think she's the chair. Because when I was chief of police, she was very direct with me, and in a positive way. And I've been knowing her, like I said, for many, many years. I have ultimate respect for her, and she's put together an all-star team. When you look at the people that's on that committee and on that board, there's no weak links. And
all right, so let's hear what she had to say earlier this week.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm incredibly proud to serve as the executive director of Mayor-elect Helena Moreno's transition. First, I want to thank her for entrusting me with this important role, and I'm deeply honored to be working alongside such an outstanding group of co-chairs. This is an exceptional team, experienced, thoughtful, and deeply committed to building a city government that works for everyone. We've moved quickly and seamlessly from campaign mode into transition mode. We're 24/7 mode. Because as the mayor-elect has said, this is about being ready on day one to deliver results for the citizens of New Orleans. Our transition is already up and running, and I want to encourage everyone to visit our website at newdirectionnola.com. That's where residents can sign up to stay informed about the work of the transition and find ways to get involved. Right now, people can sign up to receive notices about job postings, and soon we'll launch an online feature that will allow applicants to apply directly for positions in the administration. Our transition will set the standard for the professionalism, transparency, and accountability that New Orleanians can expect at City Hall under Mayor Moreno's leadership. Finally, I want to extend our sincere thanks to our partners here at the Greater New Orleans Foundation, which is serving as the fiscal agent for the transition. Thank you to Andy Copeland and the entire team here for your support, your partnership, and your ongoing work to make this city stronger and more equitable. Together, we're laying the groundwork for a government that works with urgency, compassion, and operational excellence for every neighborhood in New Orleans. Thank you.
Okay, so there's the leadership for the transition team, and you mentioned dealing with powerful people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's more powerful people to come. One of the additional powerful people that's been announced is Amy Quirk. She's the Senior Vice President and Chief Corporate Development Officer at Ochsner Health, and also CEO of Ochsner Ventures, and she is going to co-chair that CAO search.
Okay,
that's just that one thing that's huge to make sure that the mayor-elect has a partner that she can rely on, and the other co-chair is none other than Louisiana State Senator Jimmy Harris, another powerful person out of the legislature, been very successful with identifying funds to help this city, knows the importance of finances, very active member of my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and Zulu, and engage in other ways in the community. So they're overseeing the search for the CAO. If you think you have what it takes, or you know somebody, or you'd like to see them return home, and this might be just a job for them, that CAO application is on that website that Renee mentioned, newdirectionnola.com. Look for it. There's some tabs at the top of the website. One of them is called Team, and at the bottom of the pictures and the bios is a link to the application for the CAO. But if you want to know more about what's going to be coming up with the transition team, sign up for the updates at newdirectionnola.com. So this is the point where we are with transition team. You're not going to hear every single thing, but as you heard, there are going to be community engagement opportunities and other things to be involved, for people to be involved as a part of leading up to this new administration starting January 12th. So I hope that was helpful to you. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Eddie Compass. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to hear from our friend Kevin Ferguson from New Orleans and Company. I tell you, I've been looking at stuff that's going on this weekend. There's no way I can do all these things, and I'd like to. Right. And that's just this weekend. I know he's got some more to talk about as well. You're listening to WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Join us Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. Healthcare goes live on the Good Morning Show. Tune in to hear United Healthcare's Dr. Toyosi Okunronmu talk about mental health and important health tips. Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. on the Good Morning Show. Love Black culture and Black business? Come home to Bayou Road for HomeFest 2025. October 17th and 18th on the 2400 and 2500 blocks of Bayou Road. Celebrate the history and legacy of Bayou Road and the soul of New Orleans. HomeFest is a free, family-friendly reunion. Get your body and life together. Get Up and Ride takes you on a spin with free massages and acupuncture, yoga, dance, and cancer screenings. Make art, not war, with action from Eternal Seeds, Xavier Art, KidSmart, and McKenna Museums. Captain Charles sails you into Friday night Rock your Saturday with Tanya Boyd Cannon, DJ Battles and DJ Rockaway, Raj Smooth, DJ Legatron Prime, and DJ Jess. It's all happening Friday, October 17th from 5 to 9 p.m. Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Check out the schedule at homefestnola.com or follow us at homefestnola.
You're invited to step back into New Orleans history for Community Day at the Dewdrop Inn with Tulane University's special collections, presented by the Primo Memorial Series. Saturday, October 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. Celebrate the Dewdrop Inn legacy with the live musical show. Enjoy a brunch buffet and explore archival materials. Free admission, but space is limited. For more information, visit library.tulane.edu/Dewdrop Community Day.
GMC stands for more than hard work. It's vision, tenacity, fearlessness. When these qualities unite, they build something real, something driven by a higher standard. That's why GMC proudly supports the Southwestern Athletic Conference, championing HBCU students, alumni, and athletes. Because whether it's on the road or on the field, it's all about performance. GMC, we are professional grade.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Detroit, Michigan human rights attorney Huwaida Araf is back home after being released from Israeli custody.
Palestinians, including children, are locked away for months and years without charge and subjected to torture, including rape.
She was among 145 people detained while trying to deliver over $110,000 in humanitarian aid to Gaza. Habitat for Humanity is building its first home in historically Black Altadena's Eaton Fire burn zone. Black couple Kenneth and Carol Wood, both in their 80s, lost their home and are excited to move into their new house. It's one of 25 homes planned, all designed to match the neighborhood's original style. And Michelle Obama will promote her new fashion book, The Look, through a 6-part podcast series with her brother Craig Robinson. IMO, The Look, launches November 5th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. It is 8:04 a.m. We expect most of our kids, our babies, to be in school by now, but there are different kinds of schools schedules and staff schedules, teacher schedules, and we want y'all to keep that in mind as you head out in your car and go travel about the city.
Yeah, basically the school zones are still in effect till 9 o'clock. So when you traverse down the streets, be careful for the kids.
Be careful. Be careful. Well, we're happy to welcome back Kevin Ferguson, our friend from New Orleans and Company. And as always, he's going to talk about some of the incredible things that are going on in the city. We got a lot of stuff happening this weekend, next weekend, and in coming days. I'm so excited about this weekend. I think I'm going to take off from work.
It's a little late for that.
I can recover.
Monday.
So I can recover on Monday.
I was about to say you're at work right
now. From some of the stuff, because I thought I was going to stay at home and get some other things done. I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
You can set an hour aside for some things at home, and then get out of the house and enjoy everything that's happening.
Well, let's start by talking about the New Orleans election, since we just came out of a segment talking about Mayor-elect Helena Moreno's transition and the transition team and their search for a CAO, which is particularly a big deal, probably the most important appointment that she will make in the coming weeks before she takes over on January 12th. So how are you all seeing it from New Orleans and Company?
I think we're always excited. I think one of the things I talk about a lot with folks is the importance of leadership, right? Leadership for me, and if folks have heard me talk before, I always say the same thing. Leadership is about taking a group of people to a place they wouldn't normally get on their own, right? And I think when you look at the state of the city, we love this city. The city is in our blood, but we know there's some things that we need to advance and improve over the next 4, 8, 10 years, right? And so every time you have a new election, particularly with new leadership in certain positions, you've got the opportunity to really advance things, and I think what we've seen with her work on the council, her work as a representative, is that she's very focused on issues. She's very focused on solutions, and we look forward to working with the administration like we do every administration. One of the things we talk about with travel is that we don't want it to be a political thing. We don't want red cities and blue cities and cities that conservatives go to and cities that liberals go to. We want to be welcoming for everybody. And so part of that is that we work to find common ground with people at the state level, the city level, to make sure that tourism can thrive, to make sure that people know that New Orleans is a welcoming place for everybody, regardless of what's happening in the state or in the national government as well. And so for us, those relationships are critical. When you think about all the things that the administration does, the departments that we have close relationships with now, from DPW to Office of Resilience and Sustainability to the Office of Homeless Service and Strategy to the Office of Nighttime Economy, that's been a great partner, the Office of Cultural Economy. We work closely with all those departments. And so for us, those relationships are important, making sure that whoever is leading the administration, the mayor-elect, knows that those are great relationships, and we look forward to continuing that and growing that, because that's really how we advance, I think, as a city, is when you have nonprofits like us, community organizations, the business community, working in collaboration with the administration to get things done, right? There are things that city government does incredibly well. There are things the private sector can do incredibly well. And when you're able to kind of mix and match those and fill those gaps, to me, that's when you really have a great opportunity. I think about projects we have like Recycle That, what we've done with Home for Good, with Councilmember Harris and the Office of Homeless Service and Strategy. The Office of Nighttime Economy has that discounted parking program that we worked with them on. We're working on some things on transit. Office of Cultural Economy, Wood Harris, constantly talking with him about opportunities to support our musicians, our culture bearers. Those are important. And so having a administration that's going to be able to help support those issues and have good leadership within those departments, we look forward to it. It's a new opportunity, and I think you saw a lot over this week, including with some of the new council members, that I think it's a time in the city where people are really focused on how do we move things forward, and that's exciting for us.
Yeah, great. Well, we've got a particularly fascinating and interesting event that you all are kicking off. I just can't imagine a show with 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So Papa Batiste and all our other musicians and music lovers, please pay close attention to this part of Mr. Kevin's conversation with us on WBOK, because if you haven't heard about it already, this is amazing. It's an incredible opportunity and an incredible thing that somehow is going to be pulled together. So I didn't want to share all the information, but you're here. Let's talk about Rockin' 1000.
Rockin' 1000, we're excited to have this come to New Orleans. This is going to be the first time it's in the United States. This is really an incredible, the story behind it, I'll be brief, but it started this community, I want to get his name right, Fabio Zaffanini, Italian visionary. He wanted to really have the Foo Fighters come perform in his town. And so what he did was organize a group of musicians to play their songs, record it, put it on the internet, to get the attention of the Foo Fighters for them to come out. And it was a success. They loved it. They came out. And what they started doing was growing these community festivals, performances, right? So they'd go to different towns, recruit musicians, 1,000 musicians, train them on classic songs. They play those songs in theaters, and it's grown and grown and grown in Europe. And so we're excited to bring that here. And I think one of the greatest opportunities about it, folks locally can participate, sign up to participate, perform. If you played in high school, if you play as a hobby, if you're a professional musician, if you're a gig musician.
That's crazy.
Yes. Wow. And this is an opportunity to play live in front of an audience on the floor of the Superdome. So the word's going out now. There's opportunities for folks to sign up, to audition and perform. We think this will draw people regionally for the performance, and then obviously you've got friends, family, other folks that want to come see it. So we're excited to be a part of developing this. You know, one of the things that we know is people travel for events, people travel for things to do, and so we're excited to kind of have an opportunity to produce something that we think can bring people to New Orleans.
So let me get this right. So if I played in the St. Augustine,
let's go. Can we
Marching 100?
Where's the bell?
Marching 100, and my name was not Michael White or Antoine Domino.
Yeah.
I mean,
or Leroy Jones.
Yeah, I mean, these are people who are in the band with me, but I wasn't at their level, but I was in the band.
Yes.
I could come out and audition.
Tune up that instrument, Will.
Ah!
So registration is open, and I do have the website here. So it's neworleans.com/rockin1000. So that's ROCKIN 1000. And you can register there. I'm sorry, excuse me. Registration's open at Rockin, same thing, ROCKIN 1000.com/join the band.
That first one for ticket sales.
First one for ticket sales, correct. But this is going to be January 31st, 2026, so you got some time to get the instrument back in shape, do a couple practice sessions, but we're excited to bring this to the Superdome. Our partners over there at Legends are excited about producing this event and helping us pull it together, so it's going to be an incredible time. We know that we'll have folks travel in. You know, what we see from the Rockin' 1000 in Europe, folks are traveling from other countries to participate when it's somewhere close to them, so we know it's going to be a great time.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I mean, that just the idea of 1,000 musicians all on January 31st, that's just incredible.
How big that stage is going to be?
Well, I'm sure all of them won't be on at the same time.
Okay.
They'll set it up on the floor of the dome.
Even so, I mean, that's a lot. And this effort, that guy you mentioned, Fabio, has been doing this in other parts of the world, and they've been selling like 300,000 tickets.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it's an event. I mean, it's fascinating that this is happening. But as fascinating as it is, there's still some other stuff. It's October.
It's October.
So that means Halloween. And seems Halloween has been bigger and bigger and bigger in New Orleans. And matter of fact, my wife was out just not long ago. Now, today's the 17th.
Yes.
This is on October 31 is Halloween.
Yes.
She was out last weekend, and wherever she was, she saw people dressed in costumes. People warming up.
We don't need much of an excuse in New Orleans to get dressed up.
So what we got coming up?
One of the things I always enjoy, just, folks will do outfits and costumes, go to some of our restaurants, but there's a lot of formal events coming up too. We know we've got Boo at the Zoo. I saw some of the ads happening with that. that's a great event, family friendly, particularly if you have young kids, that age that are a little too young to trick or treat. Booth the Zoo is awesome. You get that Halloween experience. You get to dress them up. Really safe, family friendly environment. Great food. Other things going on there. Ghost in the Oaks, also at City Park, which is a great time to get out, check out City Park. That's a wonderful asset we have. I think it's one of the things that we are struck by that our community knows about it. We certainly promote it to visitors too, but it still feels like such a, not a hidden secret, but I think it's the third largest urban park in the country. So we've got a great asset there.
50% larger than Central Park.
Exactly. Crew of Boo parade also coming up. That's become a massive thing. Kudos to I'm forgetting which Kern it is, but he's produced that for several years. It's an incredible event. It's an incredible parade that happens there. And then folks, there's, I think one of the things I love about New Orleans in general is that the folks that live here take on celebrations in their own way. And so I do want to mention the famous Skeleton House on St. Charles Avenue and State Street. If you haven't had a chance to go by yet, check it out. They are so creative. I was talking to one of the family members, and it's really a year-round project. His mom takes ideas. He told me she has a little notebook she keeps by her bed when they pop in. People send her ideas, and it's always current and timely and just beautiful decorations they put up there.
I love the idea of people sending her ideas. It's like, well, I won't do this at my house, but I'd love to see it at yours.
and let me tell you, she's been doing that for years. That's Ryan Berger's mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's been doing that for years, and I've been handling security for that for over 30 years. So I will be there on Halloween night.
It's incredible to see. My kids go to school not far from there, and you just always see people walking by, people getting off the streetcar to see it. And I do want to mention it is Brian Kern that produces Crew of Boo. I got a little assist from Kelly Schultz. So I want to give him his flowers for putting that on every year because it's amazing. It always does.
Okay. All right. And we got some more stuff coming up as we move into Halloween month and Halloween. My son, who's going to be 31 this month.
Congratulations.
Likes to call this his season because his birthday is at the end of October. And it's like, okay, now this is my season. Right. Because I got birthday, I got Halloween, I got Thanksgiving, I got Christmas, I got Kwanzaa. So this is like his kickoff month.
He's still at that age where he wants to celebrate for a whole month. As he gets older,
well,
he'll reduce
like
that
3
down to
months.
1 day.
Sounds like 3 months he's partying.
Look, I've got a November 22nd birthday, so I tend to claim Thanksgiving.
Okay, all right,
but it's a great time.
But we're going to celebrate holiday in New Orleans. New Orleans style.
Holiday New Orleans Style is a great program. As an organization, New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation produced this for years. When they merged with New Orleans and Company, it's something we've been proud to continue this tradition. We've got an incredible holiday site. It's holiday.neworleans.com. And what you'll find on there are the Réveillon dinners. This is an annual tradition around the holidays, a little closer to Christmas. Traditional meal that's done in the French style with several courses that are displayed. So you'll see the restaurants that are offering that, participating in that. We've also got the modern take on that, right? So there's some strict guidelines around what is Réveillon, what is not. But it's also open now for folks to do a modern twist on that Réveillon style dinner. And then there's a cocktail component too. So for folks that love to get out, enjoy cocktails, there's a numerous amount of bars, restaurants that'll have special cocktails for the holidays. Holiday shopping, we know we got to get our Christmas shopping done. So you'll also find some special deals on that website for discounted items at shops and retailers across the city. And then the events. Again, this is an event town. We do so much with events. Everything from the Algiers bonfire to the caroling at Jackson Square to New Year's Eve celebration. All those things are going to be on the website. Really encourage folks to check that out. Both our residents and locals, as well as our visitors. It has a wide variety of things that are going to be happening during the holiday season.
Yeah, this year I'm going to have to do a little bit better on that Jackson Square thing because I showed up too late. I enjoyed the show, but I showed up too late. So because it gets packed,
it gets crowded.
So you got to make sure you plan ahead and figure out where you're going to park without getting booted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the length of your walk and how you're going to get back, but what a beautiful show it is.
It's incredible. I think there's so many things that are wonderful about the French Quarter and having events like that. that really encourage people to get out and enjoy it, explore it, is important. And I'll say right now more than ever, there's a number of construction projects that are happening in the French Quarter. Sewage and Water Board's doing some completely necessary sewage water transmission line repairs. So these are massive repairs, and they're impacting some of our businesses down there. So some of the ones that are in that area, St. Peter, by Jackson Square, and then there's some work in Lower Decatur. So we're certainly encouraging our locals, our visitors. You don't have to stay away. Those businesses are still open. There's a lot of safety measures around there, so they're still accessible. But we want to make sure that people get out and support our businesses down there.
I think I'll have to discuss this with the wife, of course, but I think our approach might be to plan to be there earlier than the show.
Yes.
And go to one or two of the businesses.
There you go.
And then kind of be ready and positioned and actually have a seat this time.
Grab some dinner early, grab a cocktail, do a little shopping, and then head right on over.
Yep. So we also have a Michelin announcement.
This is exciting, right? So we know that we are going to be, that Louisiana as a state will be featured in the new Michelin Guide American South. This is launching in 2026. It's the first time our state will be included in a Michelin regional guide. So it's incredible. They're going to announce the winning restaurants in a few weeks.
We've never been in a regional guide?
We've not. No. So this is a relationship.
Were we in before and then we?
No. This is.
We've not been.
We have not been in a regional guide. This is a relationship we've been fostering for a few years with Michelin to get a little bit more recognition, both for the city, the state, the amazing restaurants we have here. So this is a big next step. It's been great to see that develop over the 3.5 years I've been at New Orleans & Company. And that means a lot for a lot of our travelers, particularly international. That Michelin name really resonates. And so we know this will be a big success for Louisiana.
Explain what goes into being a Michelin chef. I think our listeners really don't understand how big a deal this is.
So to get rated, right? So, we're going to be featured in this guide. To get rated and get the star ratings is a whole nother process of evaluation. They're really looking for exceptional elements of service. They're looking for not just the cuisine, but the overall service experience. And so that's something that we are still pursuing and working on. But this is a step towards getting those ratings for some of our restaurants. So it's exciting because it is such a huge brand and name that really allows people to see your dining experience in an elevated way, right? This is something that particularly, again, our international travelers are aware of, but even domestically, that name carries a lot of weight.
I know there are international travelers that they use that guide as not only the places they will visit, cities that they will visit, but the specific places where they will dine.
Yes.
Because they're trying to check off the Michelin places where they have eaten. Right. And so how are they going to choose which restaurants will go into the guide?
They've got a process of evaluation. It's going to be announced November 3rd. I think it's a tough job, right? It's one of these where we're certainly excited. I think we have a number of restaurants that are certainly worthy of inclusion, but we're going to let the Michelin folks do their process. And we know that we'll be well represented in New Orleans as a part of that guide.
So they're going to be looking at restaurants across the state?
Across the state.
Uh-oh. I actually been to some good restaurants elsewhere.
Well, if they need someone to help them with the process, I will volunteer.
Okay. Yeah, right. We got a couple of tasters right here. Right here. We can be blindfolded so we don't see any names or anything.
Yeah.
That's please pass that on.
I will pass that on.
Yes.
But that's big news.
It's
great
really
news. Really good news. That's great. Well, I know we're going to have to break in a few minutes, but not two. So we still got a few minutes to go. So there's a number of festivals, of course. It's New Orleans. We love festivals.
Right.
So tell us about some of those things that are coming up, including this weekend.
Oh, this weekend is packed. I think there's, this is a great example of a mix of the different events you've got. We've got major concerts at the Superdome and Chris Brown. I know at the arena, a lot of conversation around NBA YoungBoy is going to be performing there 2 nights. But the festivals
Sunday and Monday, right?
Sunday and Monday. I think that's
right. I'm handling security for that.
There we go. Thank you, Chief.
I got that. We got that.
The live fact checked. But a number of festivals going around. I want to highlight a few. Funk Fest, I think we talked about before. And really, it's happening this weekend, but they've been doing some incredible things all week, recognizing some of our Black Masking Indian chiefs. Had a feature program at one of the universities talking about that and the importance of that. But that will kick off this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, down at the Jazz Museum, right down there at the old U.S. Mint, kind of really in that area that's going to be impacted a little bit by that construction. So we really want to encourage folks to get out, explore that Funk Fest. All the information's online or on NewOrleans.com. Oktoberfest over at the Deutsches Haus, also this weekend. I hope we're all enjoying this great weather that's finally turned to fall.
Yeah.
And so a great weekend to be out at all these festivals. And then also the Shrimp Fest and Shrimp Aid at the Broadside is this weekend. That's going to be a really cool festival. If you haven't been to the Broadside for their events before, they do a great job. It's plenty of area to explore, but still compact enough. You can bring the kids, walk around. They'll have great food,
And I'll give you
music.
an example of that.
Yeah.
We have a friend visiting from Dallas, but she's lived in Dallas. She's lived in Houston. She lived in New York. She's lived,
Yeah.
a number of
She's
the
been
places,
around.
the
Yes.
places, but she's been visiting. She was at Broadside last night.
Nice.
She'd never been there before. And she said, it's remarkable how you can be fooled by the front of a facility and get in there and say, wow, all of this. So, she got in with my wife like after 10:30, and that's what she wanted to talk about.
It's a beautiful space inside. They've got a cool interior rooms and venue space, but even outside with the stage, the bar, the setup there, a really beautiful courtyard, a lot going on there. And this is a cool one. They're also going to have some educational things. They'll have some actual shrimp harvesters there talking about it and talking about the importance of ecotourism. Yeah, so many great events, right? And, this time of year when the weather's turning, it's a wonderful reason to get out, explore the city. So regardless of where you're at, there's something happening. If you're closer to Broad, if you want to get downtown for the big concerts, you want to check out that Funk Fest. If you want to go out, Bayou St. John, you got Oktoberfest. So every part of the city is really kind of activated, and this weekend's big. And then coming up, of course, we still got, we talked about Booth the Zoo. We've got Treme Fall Fest that's coming up in the next 2 weeks. We've got the New Orleans Film Festival. I was downtown yesterday, and I saw some of the tents and stuff going up to support that. So that's another one that really kind of puts us on the map, again, with culture, arts, film. So exciting times in October.
Man, and not too early to look ahead to some annual traditions and big events for us. Bayou Classic. We got the big New Orleans New Year's Eve All-State Sugar Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah. Each of those separately bring a lot of people, a lot of business. People are counting on those.
Yeah, we talk about the reasons people travel, right? And we do a lot for leisure marketing and getting folks to come here for vacations. But we know these events draw people, especially sporting events. That's why having the Sugar Bowl as a playoff game and a national championship game is important. That's why having the Bayou Classic every year is important, because we know people are going to come in town from that, right? And Bayou Classic is a great example. You've got alumni that come from different places, right? And we can see some of the numbers. Obviously, Houston, we know, Atlanta are big markets. The folks that are even in Louisiana, right? We want our Louisiana visitors here too. I think a lot of times we're like, they're local. If you're coming from Lafayette or Shreveport or even Baton Rouge, you're going to spend several nights here. Like Bayou Classic is not just a one-day experience for most people.
Very few people drive in, go to the game, and leave.
No, they're here for the weekend. So that's important for us, visitation. And those are our people. I think one of the things I love about Bayou Classic, it brings people back to Louisiana, right? If you're from here, if you went to those universities, ended up elsewhere, it's a great thing on the calendar every year that we know is going to bring people back to enjoy those festivities, to celebrate the schools. And it's something that I always look forward to every year. I think my kids have been every year since they've been alive. We brought them to the Classic, and it's a great event.
Right. Well, I have a number of friends who were fortunate enough to go to places with, like names like Harvard and Yale and Cornell.
Haven't heard of them.
Stanford, Florida State.
Yeah.
And so my wife did not go to an HBCU.
Yeah.
So she looks at this as her HBCU-ish opportunity.
It is, and that's what's great about it. Certainly it is focused on those schools, but this is for everybody. I think, for me as somebody that didn't go to HBCU, I've gone, I think, the last 8 years, and it is for everybody. I encourage everybody to experience it. It is an incredible game, but it's also, to me, a great example of how you can have a rivalry, right? Because we got, I went to Florida State. We got some hardcore rivals.
Right.
But it is such a great atmosphere. I used to tell people when I was at FSU, I've never been to Florida for the Florida State game because it's too rough.
Yeah,
it is nasty, and this is not one of those. This is a rivalry in the greatest sense. A lot of pride, but everybody's celebrating together. And encourage folks, if you haven't had a chance to check it out.
All right.
Check out that
Thank you, Kevin, for coming back again and telling us about the wonderful things coming up this weekend, next weekend, and in the coming weeks. Folks, check out those things. I know you can't go to everything. Even if you're retired and you have lots of money, you're not going to be able to go to everything because there's so much. But what a wonderful place we live to have these type of opportunities available to us. This is the Good Morning Show on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Come on.
Good Friday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WGSU News, and here's your headlines. A former New Orleans priest accused of raping and kidnapping a disabled boy will be in court. Mark Ford was arrested in Indiana last month and was extradited back to New Orleans earlier this week. The allegations stretched from alleged abuse dating back to 2004 when a boy was 10 years old. Records show the victim's mother contacted police last year to report her now adult son had been sexually abused by Ford, a minister affiliated with St. Joseph's Catholic Church. The congregation of the Vincentians confirms that Mark Ford was a Vincentian priest and served in the congregation for the Mission Southern Province during a portion of the time that the offenses are alleged to have happened. He left the order in 2006. Right now, New Orleans police are investigating a shooting on Chef Mentor Highway. We're told a man was shot inside an apartment complex around 8:30 last night. He was taken to the hospital and is currently in stable condition. No word on a possible suspect or what led up to the gunfire, but if you know or heard anything about the situation, call Crime Stoppers. All right, y'all, it's a busy weekend of football. LSU takes on Vanderbilt, a potentially tough matchup. Tulane's at home looking to take revenge against Army. Both games kick off at 11 a.m., by the way. Then on Sunday, the Saints will be in Chicago taking on the Bears and former head coach Dennis Allen, who is the team's defensive coordinator. That game kicks off at noon. And also, Southern is having their homecoming this weekend. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great Friday and a fantastic weekend.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Tremay, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It is 8:35 a.m. School zones are still in effect. Right, Chief?
Absolutely.
Be careful. Be careful out there. Watch out for the babies, even those with hair on their face. Got a little mustache. Watch out for them. They still are babies.
I have one of those.
Oh yeah. So we're going to jump into conversation with our friends from Liberty Bank. And as always, we're going to talk about how to keep ourselves fiscally and financially healthy and give us some options to consider as we go about our taking care of home. We always, I do. I can always do better than what I'm doing. And sometimes we let these things slip. And matter of fact, it was just a few days ago, my wife said to me, it's like, we haven't had our finance discussion recently. It was like, okay. That's what we got to do. But welcome back, Angel. And you brought somebody with you, Mr. David Bukaj.
I did. And I'm going to ask David to give his title. It's long and fancy, so I'm going to let him give it to you.
All right.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is David Bugich. My title, full title is Senior Consumer Loan Officer, Partnership Officer, but what I basically do is manage our consumer and small business lending areas.
Well, that affects a lot of people.
Yes, it does.
So small business affairs. So what do you see most when people say, I have a business, I need some financial help?
Well, the biggest challenge for most small businesses is access to capital. Access to capital to start projects, access to capital to carry their payroll when maybe times are slow, access to capital to purchase new equipment for a new project. So when folks come in or folks call the bank, that's the biggest issue that the small businesses in our communities are having. And I say access to capital, it goes even deeper than that. It's access to affordable capital. So there are opportunities.
That's actually a really good point. Because you can have access to capital, but if it's 50% interest,
right,
that's a kind of a problem.
Right. And that's the biggest thing that has gone on in the last 4 or 5 years, and that's part of what Liberty Bank is trying to provide a solution to. And that is that there is opportunities for small business to get capital either from a fintech off the internet or merchant cash advances, but most times those financial products are not affordable. Mm-hmm. They solve the borrower's problem immediately, but then the next month they say, well, what did I do?
It's created a whole new problem.
You created a whole new problem. So one thing that we pride ourselves on is not only offering solutions, but offering affordable and fair solutions.
I like that. Affordable and fair. I like that a lot. I mean, there's such a distinction because so many times people want access to capital and they're thinking about the amount. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about the interest. Mm-hmm. And so that's where it's really important to kind of do a 360 view of what is it you're really trying to achieve.
Right.
And look at all of the help you will get as well as the cost that you will owe. Right. Because we want you to do well, right?
And so many of the most amazing things that happen in this city are because of small businesses. The food, the music, the culture. Think about it. When you think about who's driving all that, it's entrepreneurs, it's small business owners. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the magic of this city. And so we want people to be successful. Mm-hmm. You know?
And as part of that, as part of our mission about 2 years ago, our management created a small business loan product. That's the Liberty Lightning Loan product. And what that is, it's a working capital loan product, term loan. So it's not a line of credit. It's a term loan where you have a fixed payment and a fixed interest rate throughout the term. You can use it to purchase equipment, for payroll needs, for hiring new employees, all those type of things that small businesses run into. in designing a product, we kind of streamline our process, meaning we reduce the amount of paperwork that we're asking the small business for, because that's a big challenge. And we've also reduced the financial documents that we request from the customer. And we did some work on our end, the back end, so we've increased the time at which we respond to the customers, which we shoot for as little as 48 hours, sometimes faster than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Chief?
Do you have a mechanism in place to help the small business owner actually through the entire process, not just with actually getting the loan, but the maturation process of the loan and basically utilization of their resources to its optimal efficiency to make sure that they become successful?
Yeah, we do. Well, that's a two-part question, right? So the bank prides itself as being an engine to deploy the capital.
Right.
Right? And as we deploy the capital through that application process, through the gathering of documents, through the once the loan is booked, the conversations between the loan officers, there's going to be some financial education through that process.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. There's going to be some financial through that process. One thing that our new president told me maybe about a year ago, something that I picked up, I never heard, and I've been in this business for 30 years, is that we don't want to tell folks no, but we want to tell them not right now. Right.
Yeah.
So we can maybe we can work with them, and then maybe a year later, 12 months later, after you've made some changes, we can help you. Right. But there are other organizations out there that do that technical assistance piece as far as before you do come to a bank.
Right.
You know, we have some financial products and platforms at the bank that can help folks with that technical assistance piece. And I'm glad you brought it up because that is critical.
It's extremely critical.
It's critical. It's critical. And that's the main challenge I see as far as when you're reviewing loan packages and working with folks is that being able to put together a good package. And although we are our communities and we're very technology advanced now, the biggest thing for a small business when you are going to a bank, you have to be able to produce paper.
Exactly.
You know, you can have discussions about what you do and how you make your money, but you have to be able to show that on paper.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so David made a good point. That was a great segue for Our Money Matters. And we're hoping to fill those gaps for either the individual or for the business owner. If it's a not right now situation, Our Money Matters, just get on libertybank.net /Our Money Matters, or libertybank.net /OMM.
Okay.
Get on Our Money Matters. And you can, if we say you got to work on that credit score, you've got to manage some other things that are going on in your financial house. There are really tools and resources there to help us get where we want to be. And if that small business lightning loan is where you want to be, just let's take advantage of those tools. The resources are there, and it's just a coaching. It's it's a financial fitness.
Right.
You like fitness, right, Chief?
You know, because fiscal responsibility is a twofold purpose. Basically, you have a responsibility to provide the funding, but as a consumer, we have to have the responsibility to do our due diligence.
Yes.
Basically, when you put a plan in place, it can't be capricious, arbitrary, or vulgar. So it has to be well thought out, well planned. You have to basically have the resources in place to make sure you're going to, not guarantee, because nothing can be guaranteed, but give the greatest chance for success. Because as businesses grow, then they can do more business with the bank as how the banks grow. And one thing about Liberty Bank that I can say from personal experience, y'all are very community oriented and y'all are very sensitive to the small consumer. Yes. And that's something that, goes without saying that, when you're dealing with a bank that actually feels you and actually people, it's just not a big conglomerate that you can't even get to speak to anybody when you go in there. I mean, we know our bankers at Liberty Bank, and we know the people that we're dealing with, and so I think that bodes you guys very well.
Like David mentioned, Todd McDonald, our new president, and then everyone knows Mr. Mack, Alden McDonald. Yeah. And Mr. Mack says, who's the president of Chase? We don't know. Who's the president of Capital One? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Could you call them? No, they're not going to answer because you don't have their phone number.
Right.
These men are accessible, and they're going to help make, literally, it sounds kind of corny, but help make real dreams come true. And because they're really accessible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one more thing, and I know you all have to go, and we really appreciate your coming in. Can you give us an idea, speaking of credit score, talking about small business, is that an individual credit score? Is that a business credit score? And what's a good range to be at as they come to you? Even so maybe the answer might be not right now, but what gets them closer to yes right now?
Right. So with all of our loan products, and with most banks' loan products for small business in particular, it will be you will be required to provide a personal guarantee, the owner, right? So with that, the owner's credit score will be critical to the loan decision, right? And so that's part of, before you walk into a bank and applying for a small business loan, you want to make sure that your personal credit profile is in order. For us as a bank, usually 625 for that particular loan product is a 625 and above.
Yeah, and
so,
above. Better.
625 would be a floor.
Yes,
right.
Got it.
Right. Of course, there with all lending products there are exceptions, but generally that's our number. Excuse me. The credit score of the primary owner is very critical, not only to the loan decision, but in how the loan is priced.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that helps clarify a lot. Look forward to you all returning again, or at least you.
Yes.
But I don't know.
I love it here.
I think we might have to bring him back.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
With the small business approach.
Yeah.
So just
Get the
consider
word
that.
out there.
I know it's not my decision, but let's just consider that sometime before the end of the year. That's just my on-air suggestion.
I like working with David.
Okay. Yeah. All right, we're going to break, folks. You're listening to WBLK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. All right.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Join us Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. Healthcare goes live on the Good Morning Show. Tune in to hear United Healthcare's Dr. Toyosi Okunronwu talk about mental health and important health tips. Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. on the Good Morning Show.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
At New Orleans East Hospital, we believe healthcare should come with heart. Located at 5620 Reed Boulevard, we proudly serve the New Orleans community with compassion, courtesy, and a commitment to excellence. From healing to education, we want to be your trusted healthcare partner that's close to home. New Orleans East Hospital, delivering a culture of healthy care.
Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Bryant Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It is 8:51 a.m., and guess what? School zone speeds are still in effect, 20 miles per hour, so please watch out for our babies and our young ones because school zone doesn't end until what time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. So at 9:01, you can pick up the speed a bit, but it's still a speed limit.
Still speed limit. Not much.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, we're going to jump into conversation with Blake Owens and Jen Turner and Carolina Guadalupe. Is that right? Did I say that right?
I think so.
And we're going to talk about Home Fest and riding bikes. And I know it's so good for you. I mean, I'll give my personal. It ain't a testimony, but it's it was my doctor's advice.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm all for you walking.
Yeah.
Walking is good.
Right.
But you will suddenly need to ride a bike.
Right.
I'm like, how'd you know I had a bike?
Everybody has a bike. Some is parked in the garage, got dust, but everybody got a bike, you know.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, Blake Owens. Welcome to the show, Jen. Are you there, Jen?
I'm here.
All right. And Carolina, are you there?
Yes.
All right. And how did I say that last name right?
It's Guadalupe, but yes.
Yeah, so I got it.
All right.
Okay. All right. Great.
Give you a bing.
All right. So we got Home Fest this weekend, but one of the features of Home Fest is about riding. So there's a community bike ride. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's Get Up and Ride. It's our 10-year anniversary. We've been riding in the streets on Tuesdays.
Whoa.
Yeah. 10 years riding in the streets. We kind of started the whole spectacle of with the lights and the music in the city. We've been doing this Tuesday ride. It's been amazing, and we're going to celebrate that with a 10-mile ride right as Home Fest or right before Home Fest kicks off at 10 a.m. on Bayou Road.
So if you haven't been on your bike, maybe the 10-mile not for you.
Hey, you never know. You gotta push yourself. You know what I mean? It's not as when you got community, when you got a little music, the time flies. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. And so for the community bike ride, do you need to have a bike?
If you have your own, great. If you need one, we supply them. You just got to register at getupandridefoundation.org, and we'll have one for you when you pull up.
Okay. And how is this going to be connected to Home Fest?
So in collaboration, we just see two dope things, and we just decided to come together. Throughout the Home Fest, we'll have some different activations, just dealing with mental health, health and wellness, panel discussions. So we have different stuff integrated into what they're already doing on Bayou Road.
Great. So Carolina, tell us about the Activist Awards and what this means, and if you are ready, maybe you can tell us about a couple of the honorees.
I would love to. First of all, thank you so much for having us on to talk about the Artivism Awards that's happening this Monday at Beanlandia from 6 to 9. And Mama Jen, who is on the line, is one of our, awardees. This is the third annual Artivist Awards that we have as an organization. It's our way of fundraising, but more importantly, it's about celebrating artists and activists in our community who are doing amazing work. And along, it's Mama Jen, who we all know is a community leader in reading, and as a longtime manager at Community Book Center, she's just done the work.
Yes.
Yep.
And Monique Vardan is another one of our awardees, who's an artist and a citizen of the Houma Nation and a steward of the Land Memory Bank and Seed Exchange. She's also an artist who you may have seen in some shows with Bondo Bizarro, who's one of our partners. And she also co-stewards the Bulbancha Liberation Radio, who will be at our event providing some Wi-Fi services. And so we're really excited to celebrate her work in community. And then we're also highlighting and celebrating a young woman in our community, Sierra Chenair. She's a writer, a historian, and a storyteller, born and raised in New Orleans. She created NOLA, which is a digital platform that's preserving New Orleans history and culture and the soul of Black New Orleans. And she's been featured in magazines like Essence magazines for her writing and her work in preserving culture and history within New Orleans and the state of Louisiana. So, we established the Artivist Awards in 2023 to honor our local heroes like the ones we just discussed right now. Last year, we honored Asueta Amora Menkum, and we honored Spy Boy Walter Sandifer, and we had the prestige honor of honoring Chakula Chawab because he passed away a few months after our party. And we were really proud to be able to uplift and carry on their legacy and his work in community theater work. And so that's why we do this. We do this to honor the people in our community today who are doing the work on the ground in a special way that makes New Orleans special. So I hope people can come out. It's really affordable. It's a $30 ticket. We'll have lots of food. Dusky Waters is performing live. It's the second year that she headlines the event. And so, yeah, it'll be fun. And we're also debuting a audio sample of the comic book that we created. So Trinity City Arts, we have a comic book called Trinity City Comics. We are currently in production of issue 2. It's an Afrofuturistic story set in New Orleans in 2078, after New Orleans has gone through a climate-induced flood. And this story is created and has been curated by primarily Black youth here in New Orleans. They are the writers, the co-writers, the illustrators for issue 2. They created the universe. And so this comic book is the way that we ensure that there are future artivists in our community. That's our work as an organization, is to develop artivists in our community. And so that's why this event is so special, because our young people will be out there debuting their work that they've been doing over the summer for issue 2. And there's this audio version, because one of the main goals of our work is to make sure that the work that we're doing is available to all folks of all ranges and abilities. And so we're creating an audio version of issue 1. And so we're going to be debuting about a few minutes of a few pages of the comic book that will describe the comic book visually to folks who are visually impaired. They can hear it instead of being able to see it. So we're really excited to debut that and to also honor these wonderful women in our community.
Wonderful. And, of course, between now and then is Home Fest over on Bayou Road, one of my favorite places in the city. Mama Jen, you're the visionary. You're the one who came up with this idea, and I've watched it grow. Tell us what we can expect.
What can you expect? Fun, good time. But you know that's all we know, and different vendors on the street and people talking and everything. And I just want to shout out to Caroline. First of all, I want to thank you and the Trinity people for humbling me by giving me this award. And that's a humbling experience, especially with the people that was before me. I just want to thank you and Matt Swartz and at the Trinity for doing that. Thank you.
Very good.
You're welcome.
And I know
we're honored to have you. So thank you for saying yes. We're honored to celebrate you.
Well, I know there's some Home Fest jump-off stuff about 5 p.m. today. Going to be officially opening the park over there by the Caillou Center. And then tomorrow it's going to be very exciting with a full day of Home Fest at on Bayou Road between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. And, of course, the big
tonight
feature.
they're having something.
Say it again.
They're having tonight at 9 o'clock. They're having a Liberation reunion. Another group of educators that had come on before, Samari and Amir. They wrote this book Under a Black Star. We had a book signing last night. But they're going to have a reunion of all the people that, open mic that they did back in 2011, 2010, something like that. I can't even remember the year. But, yeah, they're going to have that tonight at the Book Center.
Okay, so
Tonight,
that's
so
5
it's a
p.m.
reunion.
today, 9 p.m. today, and 10 o'clock tomorrow. So
Right.
we have opportunity for getting or staying fit with the community bike ride, have the opportunity to get educated and gain some more knowledge from conversation with Mama Jen and a number of other elders who will be around and pick a few things at the Community Book Center. And we got on Monday the Artivist, not activist, the Artivist Awards coming up on Monday. So quite a lineup in and around and connected with Bayou Road Friday, Saturday, and Monday.
This is something that's very historical for our city because, we look at all the things that's bad that's happened sometimes, but when you look at all the things that have been created by the people, all the festivals that have been created by the people, the economic impact, not just that, but the heritage and the foundation that we send for our young people. So you guys should be extremely proud.
Yes.
All right. Well, yes, folks, we have gone over into Front Porch time, and that is because Front Porch will be live from the Dewdrop Inn at 1 p.m. So they won't be here right now. The programming will continue after the Good Morning Show, and be sure to drop by the Dewdrop Inn at 1 to see Kimba and Graylin and some other folks and some good entertainment and conversation. And be sure to listen to the reality check this afternoon with the one and only G-Man, Gerard Stevens. As for Chief Eddie Compass and me, Lord willing, we'll be back here on Monday morning for another edition of the Good Morning Show. We wish you will have a really great day and a heck of an incredible weekend. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
All right.